In the beginning of the film, we see a small swift named Manu whose parents had died before his birth. Then a rat approaches him for an attack. So he pretends to die. And he thinks he is dead and moves ahead. And from here the scene changes and comes to a seagull colony, where we see a seagull couple whose name was Yavis and Blanche. Yavis was the leader of his seagull colony. And soon his first baby seagull was about to be born from his egg. One night when they were sleeping, Manu sees them. And because of his mother's absence, he goes near Blanche and hugs her. And Blanche also accepts him like her own child. But the next morning when Yavis finds out about this, he doubts his existence, because he was different from them. Then Blanche explains to Yavis and asks her to train her to become a seagull. And after this, she first brings different types of prey for him. But Manu likes flies the most. A few days later, his baby seagull comes out of his egg, which makes him very happy. And Yavis gives him the name Luke in his father's name. Yavis gives Manu the responsibility of protecting Luke. On the other hand, we see a bird named Percy, which is being taken to the meat shop by locking it in the cage. But when he sees the reality there, he gets very scared. And somehow he escapes from there. There Luke and Manu are playing together. They both got along very well. And they lived happily with each other. One day, Yavis, being the leader of his colony, he gives training to Manu, Luke and other small seagulls to fly and survive. He tells them that they just have to sail their wings towards the direction of the wind. After hearing this, everyone learns to fly as he says. But Manu is unsuccessful in this. The same Manu meets Percy the next day, when Yavis teaches him to swim. Then also, all the seagulls learn to swim except Manu. Seeing this, Yavis tells Luke to help Manu in swimming. But despite that, he is unable to do anything. The next day, when he is trying to fly alone, then two swift siblings come there, whose name was Ponso and Yusuf. They tell him that he is a swift. And swifts are actually very good at flying. He is trying to fly in his own way because he is with the seagulls, because of which he fails every time. And instead of gliding his wings, he tells him to flap and fly. And when Manu tries to fly as told by him, then he finds that he can fly very easily. Also, he teaches him to fly at high speed. There Manu meets his sister, Khalifa. And they all become very good friends. But still Manu fails in Yavis's training every time, because the seagulls had a different way. Seeing Manu's failure, all the seagulls asked Yavis to get him out of their colony, because he was different from them. But Blanche and Luke were against getting him out of there. One day there is an arc race in their colony, in which all the small seagulls used to participate, so that he can prove which of them is the best flyer. Manu also participates in that race. And he believes in himself and is told by Yusuf and Ponso. He goes ahead by flapping his wings, which Yusuf, Ponso, Khalifa, and Percy are also watching. Finally Manu wins the race by leaving the final seagull behind with his skill. Seeing this, Yavis is very happy with his work, and makes him the deputy chief of his group. After which he is given the task of protecting the eggs of the seagulls at night. And Manu also gets ready to protect the eggs of the seagulls after they sleep. But then some rats come to steal the eggs of the seagulls. Seeing this, Manu tries to face them bravely. But in the end he fails to save one egg, because of which all the seagulls are very angry with him. And they say that if there was a seagull in his place, it would not have happened. So they all tell him to get him out of their colony. Then Yavis also comes under the pressure of everyone's talks and forces Manu to go away. After which Manu comes to Percy in grief. Percy tells him that he should live with swifts like him. They are his real companions. Then he goes to Khalifa after understanding his words, and tells him everything. And they all accept him easily. Manu also starts living there happily with them. And after living with them, he starts learning the ways of Swift. On the other hand, Luke was completely alone after Manu's departure, because of which he missed him a lot. And Manu also missed Luke a lot. One day when Luke sees a group of swifts, he goes to find Manu in it. But that day Manu does not meet him in that group. At night, all the Swifts party together, where they all happily sing together. And in the meantime, Manu flies away from there with Khalifa, where he tells her that he likes her a lot. And Khalifa also accepts his proposal. The next day when Luke is sitting alone, he sees Manu. And he tries to stop her. But Manu is going on talking to Khalifa and her siblings, because of which he is unable to hear her. And in the same time, some rats catch Luke. But at the right time, Manu comes there to save him. And he together with Khalifa and her siblings scares them and drives them away. After that, Manu introduces Luke to his friends. There Luke tells him that winter is about to begin. So in a few days, in search of his parents and other seagulls to eat, they are going to fly south. He also tells Manu to come with him. But Manu tells him that you will always be my brother. But I am a Swift, so I can't go with you. And saying this, he goes away from there. And while he is talking to Percy about this, Khalifa comes there, which tells him that a very terrible storm is coming soon, because the Swifts already know about it. She takes Manu with her and goes to a safe place. On the other hand, Luke tells Eve that he will not go south with them, and he will stay here with Manu. But he also tells him that the paths of Swifts and seagulls are different, and he refuses to listen to Luke. That same night, when Percy is looking for food by the sea, he sees that some rats are stealing the eggs of the Swift. Seeing this, he immediately informs Manu and Khalifa about it. And they take Yusuf and Ponso with them and follow them, and reach their den, where they all used to live in a wine warehouse. Then Luke also comes to help them. There he sees that they have kept all the eggs under a metallic grill. But there are also many rats in it. So he shows his wisdom and removes all the barrels of wine containers present there. And because of the wine, all the rats start coming out of there. And all the eggs also start coming up on their own. But to stop them, the entire team of rats attacks them. But at the right time, Percy comes to help them. And he beats all the rats hard. Finally, Manu and his friends take the eggs from there and leave. And the entire colony praises their bravery. But when they see Luke, they oppose him because he is a seagull. So Luke goes away after hearing them. Manu and his friends also support Luke, and leave from there. Then Manu realizes again that the storm is coming soon. But this storm was going to be much more terrible than before. And because the seagulls are ready to fly south, Manu tells them that they shouldn't go from here, because a terrible storm is coming soon, which can be very dangerous for them. But Eves doesn't believe him, because he thought that no one can predict these things. And Manu is thrown out of there. And he has to come out of there. And with this, all the seagulls start their journey to the south. On the other side, one of the eggs stolen by the rats is also of a seagull, from which a baby seagull comes out. Seeing him, Manu remembers his story. And then he decides that he will try to save all the seagulls. All the Swift also decide to support him by being motivated by Manu's words. And they go to the seagull. And Perseus stays there to take care of the baby seagull. On the other side, when the seagulls are moving forward, then the terrible storm begins to come. And because of the strong wind, they have a lot of trouble flying, because of which everyone starts falling into the sea one after the other. But then Manu comes there with his army to help them. And everyone rescues them from there. Then Yavuz asks him about the plan, on which Caliph tells him that we have to get out of the storm, after which we will all be safe. Yavuz finds this very dangerous, but he had no other choice. And the seagulls together with the help of Swift start going towards the storm's opening. And finally everyone manages to reach the other side of the storm with the help of each other. But then Manu and Caliph see that the lookerpons are missing. So they understand that they are still stuck in the storm. And to save them, they go inside the storm. And finally they also safely get them out of there. Yavuz is very proud of him for Manu's work, and thanks all the Swifts for their help. And after this, all the seagulls and Swifts become good friends. And everyone starts living happily together. And with this, the movie ends here.